What we are learning around the world is that if women are healthy and educated, their families will flourish. If women are free from violence, their families will flourish. If women have a chance to work and earn as full and equal partners in society, their families will flourish. And when families flourish, communities and nations will flourish. Hillary Clinton's words in a speech she had given over women's rights at the United Nations World Conference on Women. According to WhiteHouse.gov, titled Hillary Rodham Clinton, assessed on November 15, 2020, Hillary Diane Rodham Clinton served as the First Lady of the United States to the 42nd President Bill Clinton. She went on to become a U.S. Secretary of State and U.S. Senator from New York, served as Arkansas's First Lady for 12 years, and was named twice on the list the 100 most influential lawyers in America, according to firstladies.org. The purpose of Hillary Clinton's speech was to share her own personal experiences she has dealt with or seen about women not having the same rights as males or others. She gave her speech at the United Nations World Conference on Women in Beijing, China, on September 5, 1995. Most people wouldn't understand the struggle women deal with on a daily basis about how their rights would be tarnished from them or non-existent at all. The audience was mostly made up of delegates and the United Nations, but guests were allowed to attend the conference and hear. Hillary hoped after her speech she would put some effort about how women make up this world and shouldn't be targeted for something so little like their gender. She also used her speech as a remembrance of who we are and how we have every right to do whatever we want, and that could be the right to vote or have the freedom of speech. This is truly a celebration of the contributions women make in every aspect of life, in the home, on the job, in their communities, as mothers, wives, sisters, daughters, learners, workers, citizens, and leaders. It is also a coming together much the way women come together every day in every country. However different we may be, there is far more that unites us than divides us. We share a common future, and we are here to find common ground so that we may help bring new dignity and respect to women and girls all over the world, and in doing so, bring new strength and stability to families as well. We are focusing world attention on issues that matter most in the lives of women and their families: access to education, healthcare, jobs, and credit, the chance to enjoy basic legal and human rights and participate fully in the political life of their countries. There are some who wonder whether the lives of women and girls matter to economic and political progress around the globe. Let them look at the women gathered here and at Harare, the homemakers, nurses, teachers, lawyers, policymakers, and women who run their own businesses. Over the past 25 years, I have worked persistently on issues relating to women, children, and families. Over the past 2.5 years, I have had the opportunity to learn more about the challenges facing women in my own country and around the world. The great challenge of this conference is to give voice to women everywhere whose experiences go unnoticed, whose words go unheard. Women comprise more than half of the world's population. Women are 70% of the world's poor and 2/3 of those who are not taught to read and write. Women are the primary caretakers for most of the world's children and the elderly. Yet much of the work we do is not valued, not by economists, not by historians, not by popular culture, not by government leaders. At this very moment, as we sit here, women around the world are giving birth, raising children, cooking meals, washing clothes, cleaning houses, planting crops, working on assembly lines, running companies, and running countries. Women are also dying from diseases that should have been prevented or treated. They are watching their children succumb to malnutrition caused by poverty and economic deprivation. They are being denied the right to go to school by their own fathers and brothers. They are also being forced into prostitution, and they are being barred from the bank lending office and banned from the ballot box. As an American, I want to speak up for women in my own country, women who are raising children on the minimum wage, women who can't afford health care or child care, women whose lives are threatened by violence, including violence in their own home. I want to speak up for mothers who are fighting for good schools, safe neighborhoods, clean air, and clean airways. For older women, some of them widows, who have raised their families and now find that their skills and life experiences are not valued in the workplace. For women who are working all night as nurses, hotel clerks, and fast food cooks so they can be at home during the day with their kids. And for women everywhere who simply don't have time to do everything they are called upon to do each day. We need to understand that there is no formula for how women should live their lives. That is why we must respect the choices that each woman makes for herself and her family. Every woman deserves a chance to realize her God-given potential. We must also recognize that women will never gain full dignity until their human rights are respected and protected. Women and children make up a large majority of the world's refugees. I believe that, on the eve of a new millennium, it is time to break our silence. It is time for us to say here in Beijing and the world to hear that it is no longer acceptable to discuss women's rights as separate from human rights. If there is one message that echoes forth from this conference, let it be that human rights are women's rights, and women's rights are human rights, once and for all. Let me be clear. Freedom means the right of people to assemble, organize, and debate openly. It means respecting the views of those who may disagree with the views of their governments. It means not taking citizens away from their loved ones and jailing them, mistreating them, or denying them their freedom or dignity because of the peaceful expression of their ideas and opinions. Let this conference be our and the world's call to action, and let us heed the call so that we can create a world in which every woman is treated with respect and dignity. Every boy and girl is loved and cared for equally, and every family has the hope of a strong and stable future. Even though women in the past have struggled about maintaining their rights, now it is time to make a change and for the better. If there's one thing you should take away from this speech, is that no matter how hard you fight and struggle, don't let them see your frustration as you build from that and continue to fight for what is yours. Thank you.